My time has come, we've had some fun.
It's time for the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Here with a load of laughs, info, and fun, it's Tony B, Dave B, and Timmy D.
Before I go alone. Don't ask me this and one more song. It ain't too costly, no, I ain't too cheap, so just relax. I'm on my knees.
Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast, episode 92. My name is Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, is my cohort, my partner in crime, David B. Timmy D is out this morning. He'll be back. First topic, we got some trucking news. And then number two, a trucking legend steps down. The views of Ship's Gonna Happen are purely news-driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business entity that uses a transportation provider. David, why do we use it?
Transportainment.
Boom, baby. That's right. Transportainment into show number 92. Thanks for joining us. We got a good show for you today. You can catch us on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of the podcast platforms. We were out there. Just put us in a search engine and you will be able to find us. And again, my name's Tony B. Alongside me, David B. Good morning.
Producer Tony, it is always a pleasure to see you on this cool, brisk Saturday morning. It's about the middle of winter now. We're kind of just getting through the thick of the winter, and pretty soon it'll be spring before we know it. College basketball tournament will be on about, and then St. Patty's Day right around the corner. St. Patty's Day is always a really good day. Always a good day to kind of get out and enjoy some beverages on St. Patty's Day. This show, along with all of our shows, is sponsored by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go and unwind after a Ship's Gonna Happen week. Great place to go to get a great meal, chat it up with the locals, hear some good music. It's The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street. I was down there yesterday briefly before I went off to somewhere else, and Sean was there, and Chris was there, and everybody was there. It was just nice to see everybody, and it's a great place to go. Great Divide.
So you got to see the whole staff kind of flowing
in
and out of there.
Yeah, and then I got ribbed because I was leaving, and I'm like, oh, I got other plans. So, but it's always good to go in there and kind of just check in with everybody and see how everybody's doing. Producer Tony, you doing all right this morning?
Brother, I'm doing good.
You're looking good.
Thank you, man. You look good yourself. For two old guys, we're not doing bad,
That's
right?
Yeah.
Still kicking.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I'm at a point in my life where I'm losing and gaining, but I'm not losing what I want to lose, and I'm not gaining what I want to gain. You know.
Oh my God, gravity sets in, doesn't it? It
Yes.
always has its way.
It does. It has taken over the temple that I have built.
But it's like you said, it's going to be like you got the college basketball season getting ready to kick in, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah.
Got a big football weekend coming up.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's huge. Big
Mhm.
football. We will talk about that later.
Okay.
But David B has got.
So normally for those of you listening, I try to get a guest lined up early in the week, and I didn't get one this week because I tried, but I didn't try hard enough because normally it just happens. So, but this week it didn't happen. And so I just have some industry headlines, and they're just random industry headlines, nothing pertaining to anything in particular. But a couple headlines that caught my attention this week. The very first one is Tony B, I need you to just guess if you could for me, just guess randomly on who you think is the United States top trading partner. Who would you guess is the
United States top
trading partner in dollars and goods? Who do you think we trade with the most?
I would think it's probably Canada.
Tony B. Producer Tony nailing it from deep. Well done, Producer Tony.
Did I get it?
You did.
All
You
right.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it very well. I wouldn't have guessed that. So Canada, and this story comes to us from Freightways dated January the 8th, that Canada is still the U.S. top trading partner ahead of Mexico. And I wouldn't have put, I don't know that I would have put Mexico in there either. But
Shocking,
China's third.
Okay.
So
you would think they'd be number one.
Based on media reports, I
Right.
guess, because you don't ever hear
Yeah.
Canada, or rarely do you hear Canada mentioned as a trading partner. I know they're a trading partner, but you just wouldn't think that they were one of the top ones. So just in the month of November alone, we did $63.4 billion in trading goods with Canada, $62.4 billion with Mexico, and then a distant, extremely distant third, $52.5 billion with China.
Wow.
And that's just 1 month worth of trading.
Wow.
So I had no idea those numbers were that high. And again, I would not have guessed as Canada to be our top trading partner.
Well, that's amazing information, because I would think that Canada, we're moving goods in and out to them, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah. And the number one good that's traded with them is oil at $8 billion.
Really?
Auto parts is next, and then passenger vehicles is the third.
Yeah, because some of the automakers build in Canada, don't they? The American automakers.
Right.
Ford, I think, does a lot in Canada.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was I just wouldn't have guessed Canada as a top trading partner, but it's good. I mean, both North American, both of the other North American countries, or Canada and Mexico, are our top trading partners. So it's kind of nice to read about that.
Yeah.
And there is a huge difference between the North American trading partners and China. I mean, that's a big difference in dollars.
Man, that's a good topic there. So Mexico would be, because they're doing the auto stuff too, right?
Sure.
So they're doing a lot of auto. I would imagine most of our raw imports are coming from China, so they're not buying much from us, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. And then so the other random, again, these are just random headlines that I just kind of picked out. This other one comes to us from fleetowner.com, and the title of the article is "Recession Shouldn't Be a Scary Word in 2023." And Tony and Tim and I have kind of talked about this a little bit on the podcast, where I don't know, I don't want to say we, but like one of my thoughts is that we're heading back to pre-pandemic numbers, and I don't know that calls for everything to, people to be like, oh, we're in a recession, when it's just we're getting back to what quote unquote whatever normal is.
Yeah.
Even though interest rates are still stupid high, and which kind of hurts any growth or whatever. So this article goes on to read that while the forecasts for 2023 are pessimistic, that there's, they still just see business just keep going along. Not that there's going to be a lot of growth, but kind of like I mentioned earlier, getting back down to some pre-pandemic numbers or whatever. And so, and also kind of getting off topic here just a little bit. The reason why we're doing kind of industry headlines today is because I was too lazy to get any homework and get a story. So that's why we're just kind of perusing over some industry headlines and stuff. So, we're chugging along. I worked this morning, dude. I was there a good 3 hours today. It was just still busy. And I don't know if the company you work for, if you guys are still seeing strong numbers or whatever. But
yeah, the numbers are still strong. I just think it's like you said earlier, we're kind of heading back to that pre-COVID 2019 numbers, right? That's what we're running up against,
right, from
a trucking standpoint. But we've seen an overall decline in tonnage, and every carrier's seeing it. But hopefully the recession doesn't hit. I mean, food prices are still rising 3 to 4% in 2023. If the prediction remains correct, we'll see slower growth through 2023. I think that's what they're mostly worried about, and that could fall backwards. But I don't know. Maybe if we can stop searching for presidential secrets and focus on the economy, maybe we won't have to endure so much pain in 2023.
Right. That's what's well said. Yeah. Because to your point, it does make you wonder why some stories are actually even stories, and then why other stories that you and I, or at least that I didn't know, that Canada was our top trading partner. I mean, that to me, that should be stuff that's talked about more.
Well, yeah, and it's not even like they're, I don't know what the population of Canada is off the top of my head, but I
Right.
mean, most of the Canadians live within 25 to 50 miles of the US Canadian border, right?
Mhm.
So it can't be like like for that to be our number one trading partner is quite significant, because one that sticks out to me is they're not that large of a country population wise.
Right.
Landmass they are,
Mhm.
but population they're not. So it's amazing, and it really speaks to how important they are to our economy, obviously. And the exchange rate always works out well, I think, for American companies when they do the
Yeah.
Canadian exchange rate. But
And
yeah,
for those, let's go.
no, I'm
Sorry.
done.
For those of you that don't know, I'm going to go on to our third headline now. For those of you that don't know, that listen to the podcast, our producer Tony is somewhat of a tech nerd, and
Mm.
so this next article kind of made me think of Tony. Walmart made over 6,000 drone deliveries during the year of 2022. It seems, and I'm sure that this is they're just kind of getting started with this. They want to eventually get to a million packages delivered by a drone for the year.
Wow.
And last week after the podcast, Tony took us outside and showed us his new pet, or his new toy, his
It's
drone
kind
that
of
he's
a
got,
pet.
which was it was really neat. I mean, the way Tony can maneuver that thing just from his iPad. It got up real close to us, and then he just shot it down the neighborhood just as quick as it could be. Just boom, it went down the neighborhood, and then he brought it back, and then he took it down to a different neighborhood and brought it back, and just the speed of that drone. And I'm sure that reading through here, that's a big part of Walmart wanting to use this. It's just that fast, and I'm sure the size of that drone that they're going to use has got to be pretty big and stuff to at least handle some of the package sizes that they have. There's a photo of it here. This story comes to us from Supply Chain Dive, and
That's a great name.
yeah, I do like that name.
Yep.
Um, and it shows a picture here on their website, shows that they're kind of securing a package to the drone, and it's a
Really?
pretty big drone. Or
So is it like
whatever.
the size of like half the size of a car or something, or
Oh no,
smaller than that?
I would say it's um it looks like the size of a um maybe the size of a moped, kind of maybe smushed in just a little bit more, and maybe
Yeah.
even smaller than that, but it's not. And maybe it looks like it might be.
Like a radio flyer wagon?
Yeah, let's yeah, it looks to be about 3 feet width, and then 3x3. I would say it's about a 3x3.
So how many can it
Mhm.
carry? How many packages? Does
Yeah,
it-
that's a great question.
probably smaller packages.
Yeah, I see it just taken um right here with this one. It just looks like it has the ability to carry one.
Wow.
And it's but to our point earlier, I mean, excuse me. Like the speed of the drone, I mean, as quick as I
Yeah.
saw Tony move that thing, and if it can move that quick, let's say it's coming from, hypothetically, Seymour, Indiana, or Gas City or whatever,
Mhm.
you might be waiting a little bit to get it there. But I mean, if it has that capability, it would be, kind of a nice quick method to get your packages delivered.
Isn't this is Walmart, right?
Correct.
Because if I could interject real quick, David,
Please do.
So when I was researching, we've looked at this quite a bit, and I like these drones. I think they're unique. So one of the things that Amazon had designed, which blew my mind, was a blimp,
Mm-hmm.
like a kind of a smaller Goodyear blimp type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then these drones would be inside there with your packages.
Oh.
So it'd be like Mount Comfort Airport over here.
Mm-hmm.
Lets the blimp go up, and then it's many drones coming out of the blimp to deliver. All the packages are in your blimp,
Hmm.
and then they come out through their. They would have to put them up, they said, in their most popular zip code areas, and they could do it in rural areas. They just drag the blimp out in the morning,
Really?
and then I was blown away by it.
So your drone, in its current capacity, could it deliver something to Tim's house?
Yes, it could. Yeah, that's a funny question. Yeah, there's a kit you can buy with it that does a water bottle. Maybe it would be. So I got to find somebody in the Mojave Desert that needs a drink of water. but I don't know if my battery would make it to them. But yeah, you can technically do that. Yes, absolutely.
It probably couldn't. Would a quart of beer be too heavy? I'm just wondering, like, if you're going to send something to Tim's house, it's got to be a beer or something.
After the show, we're trying it.
Okay.
Well, maybe not.
Quart of beer. A quart of beer seems like for that
a 40
size of your drone in my head that it might be too heavy.
Can of beer would probably work.
Well, yeah.
A can of beer.
It's not even worth it then.
No, probably not. But they make them like that. Like some of these, they make search and rescue ones.
Oh.
They actually have working on one that, these people that get caught, unfortunately, in flooding. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard for firefighters, rescuers to get to them.
Mm-hmm. Nor is it safe.
Right. Exactly. Because a lot of times they end up losing their lives. Mm-hmm. So they've been working on a drone that's about the size of the back of your truck. And from back of the truck back, from your cab to the back. And what it picks up a human body up to 400 pounds. Ooh. So I saw them doing testing on it. And I was quite shocked. Plus, you can put infrared on these things now, and you can find missing children, missing people. Oh
wow!
The Delphi girls, they sent one over looking for them. They didn't see them, but there's technology out there is getting good. And David, I tell you what, it's funny you mention this because I'm obviously excited about because I like talking about
nerd.
But nerd. So they one of the things I was recently watching here, I might pull it up on. Actually, I think I will pull it up on the old YouTuber. It is a flying drone, meaning you can get in it. You or I could get in this thing.
A self-driving drone.
Yeah, let's see what it says. A personal drone vehicle. Here we go. And you can actually, I'll see if I can play this video.
So again, one of the things that Tony and I talked, and when he got that drone out, it kind of nerded me out a little bit too. That Tony, remind me again of the specifics on how high you can go with this drone.
Yeah, there's laws and things you
just can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I had to register mine, certify it with the FAA. There's I always say this. I was in the military for 5 years. There's 3 or 4 entities in the government. You might be able to might make some of them upset, but there's 4 entities in the government you do not want to upset.
Okay.
One of them is obviously ATF, right? The FBI, the CIA, right? The other one is the Federal Aviation, right? FAA. These people have authority, right? Big time authority. So the rules are you can't fly a drone more than 400 feet unless you have permission to go higher.
Okay.
So I have mine set, and 400 feet's high. That's higher than probably anything you're going to run into, other than if you're downtown, right? Yeah. There's rules and regulations. There's grids where you can't fly. You can't fly near an airport. And airports are now designing drone catchers. So if they see your drone go up, most drones now will emit an RFID signal.
Okay.
So they know you're up.
Right.
So if you go past the mark 400 feet, most airplanes are going to fly, the Cessnas, the small ones are going to fly 400 feet to 5,000. Then their bigger planes are going to go to 10,000, right? So the ceiling is 400 feet for a drone. I had to take a test and everything. So, I had to register it. And
did you get an A on the test?
I did get an A. I passed it the first time.
Nice.
Most people take a couple times to pass it. I passed it. But yeah, there's a lot of rules and regulations with them. A lot of people don't like them. Over a neighborhood, you got to be careful. You don't want to be. I just did that for display to show you guys because it's flying right to Tim's house. The only one going to get mad would be Tim's wife, right? There's a drone over the house, Tim. But you can't really hear it. They wouldn't hear it. They wouldn't see it. But I tend to not do that. Usually fly it in parks and fields and stuff like that. So
can you do me a favor? I sorry to do this to you. Can you go back and touch on your drone catcher comment? Does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean that they would confiscate the drone?
Absolutely.
And good luck getting it back.
Look,
is
man,
that what that means?
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean,
or would you get it back at all?
They might give it back to you, but you're probably going to get a fine. So in these fines from the FAA, they're not like $50. right? I mean, you're violating federal aviation airspace, right? That's that's a big level up than driving a car. So yeah, they let you fly, but they're strict about what you do out there, and they should be, because there's a lot of idiots out there that don't use them for the right thing. Mine is to take pictures. We go on family vacations.
I gotta think on a daily basis. There's somebody being a dumbass with the drone.
Yeah, and there's people that get too close to airports. I mean, if you were to, birds suck through an engine, sometimes can create engine failure. Well, if you got a nice sized drone sucking through an engine, it's going to probably wreck the engine. That's why they don't want you up that high. Right. So they have a new thing out, drone catchers, and what they do is these drones are bigger than most drones. They're police, federal type drones, military type drones that shoot out a net, and that net will catch your drone and then just take it to the ground, and then they're going to come pick it up and fly it back to their base or wherever it's going, and they're going to get the RF. They'll be able to pull out the RFID and figure out where you went, and they already probably know that, but yeah, there's serious laws about it, and you got to be smart about it, and it's the people that are stupid that ruin it for everybody. So, but there are some concerns about it. I think you ought to be just like with the handgun, right? I'm not an anti-handgun guy at all. I'm not a hunter. Tim's a hunter, right?
He is.
I appreciate that and respect that. I don't have a problem with that. But we all got to honor the law with. I mean, it's a privilege to have these things, right?
Yeah.
So,
so you're saying just like a gun, everybody should be trained the right way.
Absolutely.
With the drone.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you buy a handgun, you need to go through handgun training and understand everything about that gun.
Right.
And the importance, the dangers, and you need a safe to lock it up. And if you don't do that, I don't think you deserve a gun.
Right.
So, and I'm not anti, but yeah, I think you have to be responsible, man, because it's the idiots that are not. I was watching a guy. Go ahead.
So you mentioned in your statement just a few sentences ago that there's always idiots that'll ruin it for somebody else. That is in every scenario.
Absolutely,
in life.
Yeah.
Every effing scenario in life, somebody has come up and effed up something else for everybody.
I'm surprised humans have gotten this far, right?
Right.
It's been messed up so many times. But yeah, it's the same thing with driving, right? I mean, it's a responsibility and a luxury to be able to do that. And yeah,
So driving is one of my pet peeve things where people should be forced to take a class, not just the one time to get your license,
an etiquette class,
but to like every 5 to maybe 10 years, just to get a refresher course on what the rules are.
Right.
Because everybody, when they get in their vehicle, thinks that's just their little space and nobody else around them matters. It just drives me nuts.
I know.
Some people drive. They're terrible drivers.
Well, just think if we let them all fly drones, they'd be flying like they're driving, right? I think that's why the FAA keeps restrictions on it, and I'm glad they do, because
as they should.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think you're going to see more and more of them because just from a delivery side, but it's efficient to be able to do it, and cost efficient too, because you're not using fuel, battery power. But
I never thought of that part of it. But good. I just hope people, to your point, I just hope people just don't start using them for dumb shit.
Right.
Didn't get the privileges for the others that are doing it the right, using a drone for the right purposes. I can just see people doing some dumb stuff with that.
They always do. There's a website, or actually you could go to YouTube, top 12 flying machines. And here's a picture video of it.
Was the Judson's car one of those?
Yeah, it goes back to it does go back to like the 50s and 60s. 50s first attempt. And then they kind of show how the evolution of it started to begin. And what's amazing to me, here's a guy flying over a lake.
It sounds just like Tony's drone.
Yeah. They call this the Omni hoverboard, and he's flying over a pond. Here's the Copper Pack one. hover bike Scorpion. Wow, that thing looks badass. Pretty cool site. Check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's called Top 12 Unique Flying Machines. But they're here to stay for sure, because it's just a cheaper method to fly. I think when we all thought we'd get in our car and it'd turn into wings and we'd fly, remember the 50s, 60s, like that's what'll happen in the future. I don't think it's going to head that way. I think we'll head into these personal drone things. And what's unique about a drone is you can put the GPS in there and you can actually pre-coordinate your travel, right?
Okay.
With GPS. You know how we use Google Maps?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could just point to it in Google Map and then your car just went that way. You know what I mean? Locked in with the GPS of that. And that's what a drone is doing.
What your drone does, right?
Right.
Because you put Tim's address in there last week and it just went, choom, there
Just
it went.
flew right over there.
Yeah. In no time at all.
Yeah. So
it seemed like
imagine
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. At 47 miles an hour.
Ooh.
This thing flies.
I didn't realize it was that fast.
Yeah. So think about this, though. That's what I got. Think about what the military's got.
Oh, yeah.
They probably got stuff so small that
And
you can't see it.
And also not only small, but how stealthy. I don't know if that's a word, stealthy.
Yeah, it is.
Or whatever. But, I'm sure that there's probably a camera or two on those also for the military, and that they're really, and yours seemed like it was a high resolution camera,
Yeah.
but I imagine the military's is probably even far better than that too.
My understanding is
Thinking out loud.
they have tiny helicopters that fit in your hand. And
What?
they send them up as a scout, and then it goes out and takes the video so that troops can move forward, and you can't see them. Like once they're in the air, they're so small you can't see them. And they have video and GPS where they can coordinate missile strikes, like from that little tiny thing, like can go, and then that's impressive. But hey, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
You nerded me out this morning, man.
Yeah. You're listening to the Tony's the Nerd podcast this morning.
The Nerd Podcast.
And then my last one here is gonna, poop. I lost the article. My last one was going to tie into Tony's article that the CEO and president of the largest private LTL trucking firm in the United States has stepped down, and I'll let Tony take it from here.
Yeah, thanks, David. Yep, one of the Rob Estes has passed the leadership down, the fourth generation of family leadership with the new president. Webb Estes, the son of Rob Estes, will take over. Big deal. And as far as the company's concerned, I don't think it's that much of a big deal because Webb will do a great job. But kind of a big deal to see a legend like Rob Estes step down. I first started in this industry. I would say Estes was probably, Dave, if you and I go back, probably 10th, 15th largest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And today, the fifth largest. That is some major good things.
But the article that I read went to say that they're the largest privately held LTL company.
Right.
So that right there says a lot.
Huge.
It says a lot.
Yeah, I'll read this article here.
Okay.
Estes Express Lines has entered into its fourth generation of family leadership. The privately owned freight carrier elevated Webb Estes, its vice president of process and improvement, to president COO effective Tuesday. For nearly a century, Estes has helped shape and lead the logistics industry, and I am thrilled to carry on our tradition of customer-focused vision, innovation, and success, Webb Estes said in a statement. Rob Estes will stay on as board chairman and retain his role of CEO. Former COO Billy Hubb is now board vice president and corporate executive vice president. While many competitors have struggled the last few years, Estes has continued to grow and thrive, and much of it is due to Webb's passion for the company and the vision that he has. Webb Estes also holds a CDL, and that's something I wanted to mention is a lot of times these family businesses, you don't see the girth underneath the belly, right?
Sure.
So, but what I can assure you is that this family, much different. They've all worked in this industry and had to work it. So and Web Estes is one of those that is knows the business very well. So exciting times for Estes, and a legend steps down.
Tony, to talk about Estes
Yep.
just a little bit more. If I remember correctly, and I think you can help me. Again, you're a little bit nerdier at this than I am. During about 2008, that time during that recession, didn't they acquire a competitor to try to help build their their footprint in the United States also?
Yeah, you would think like that would be a horrible time to invest into expanding to the West Coast is what Estes' goal was. So they had bought GI Trucking,
Okay.
and that was during that downturn time that they had done that, and it just like that's the thing about Estes. I think that people um, don't know, but if you think about it, it would clear it up for you. It's a company that's made some moves during some difficult times that you most wouldn't do, and maintained maybe during difficult times when some would reduce or downsize. They've not done that. And I've always said this jokingly, and I do say this jokingly. You could take the Estes family and throw them out of an airplane at 20,000 feet, and somehow they're going to land in between a bank and a trucking company,
Mm.
and it's going to be all right. Now, most companies and people you could not throw out of a plane at 20,000 feet, and I do not want to see anybody thrown out of a plane at 20,000 feet. The analogy is these people do a lot of things right, and hold firm in their beliefs, and it has paid off for them historically.
Well, that's good. I definitely don't want to make this an Estes podcast,
Yeah.
but in the years I've been in this industry, when somebody has started at Estes, those people are still around
Mhm.
and they stick with the company or whatever.
Right.
And
Not a lot of turnover.
right. That goes two ways too. People don't leave voluntarily, and then Estes sticks by who those people are.
Yeah.
Or it seems to.
Well, it's a good point because during
and
COVID,
I could be wrong, but
well, during
that's what it
COVID, it's a
seems.
good example. We saw a lot of companies do a lot of different things, right? They're one company that just kind of did what they always do, and didn't fray from that.
Okay.
Didn't go sideways.
Didn't panic.
Didn't panic. Didn't get
Mhm.
jerky.
Mhm.
I mean, you got to remember this. Estes is a company that was founded during the Great Depression, so
So about 100 years ago,
close to that, yeah. And so they've survived that. They started a business during that time
You
frame. So
can't. Yeah, that doesn't happen with too many
no,
companies at all.
no,
The company I work for is one of those companies, but again, you don't hear of that.
no, it's very hard. I mean, it's a blessing for me to have been there, and
Mhm,
it's worked out for me and for them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a big deal historically for a guy like Rob Estes. I mean, privately held, like you said, to step down.
Mhm.
Obviously, he felt it was time, and hopefully, he's still going to be there. Hopefully, he can enjoy his time in that position, and watch Estes continue to grow. And it's not like they're you know out there like trying to knock people out. It's just about doing the basics, and taking care of the blocking and tackling, right?
Who else in the LTL industry is private? Dayton.
I think Dayton is. I think Old Dominion used to be, but I think now they're half mixed. They're publicly traded, right?
Mhm,
Estes is not. But I think Dayton. I think
Saya
Pitt, Ohio,
is.
Dorn would be.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Saya's publicly traded.
It is.
Yep. FedEx is publicly traded. UPS
Mhm.
is publicly traded. So for Rob Estes to do what he's done against giants that are corporate enigmas in some way, right,
Yeah.
is amazing. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great story. So, but yeah, I think there's not very many left, David. They're probably smaller ones that we're not thinking of, but
Mhm.
Dayton would probably be the biggest one, in Pitt, Ohio, and Dorn would be privately held too.
Yeah.
Trying to think off the top of my head any of the other ones. Well, Central Transport, right, would
Oh
be.
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think they're family owned.
That's, I mean, speaking of it, and I definitely don't want to, I'm not here to glorify a certain company or bash others, but how Central has weathered this or lasted as long as they have is just kind of
It's
a
amazing.
little miraculous or
It's
whatever.
amazing. Yeah, it is. It really truly is. I mean, we've seen a lot of trucking companies over the last few years during the COVID crisis. Really, we saw a lot go out, right?
Mhm.
So, in mine and your history doing this, we've seen a
Boy,
lot go
I
out. A lot of weird things go
Oh,
on.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I would have thought, and just speaking about that historically, I can remember. I mean, David, if I go back to like just 15 years ago, right?
Mhm.
You go back 15 years ago. I worked at Roadway.
Okay.
I was there for 14 years. I never really ran into these carriers. I ran into Dayton because they were regional, but I never ran into like Old Dominion and Estes back in the day because they were still
Mhm.
trying to grow their network, right?
Yeah.
It's just amazing how fast they've done some of this stuff, and it's just
Now
I can remember looking back there and knowing that those type of carriers came for so long from a long way to get into the town that they just didn't, really hunker down in that
Mhm.
business like the bigger carriers did at that time.
So in that 15-year time frame that you're talking about, LME was still in business. They're
Right.
no longer in business.
Exactly.
New England Motor Freight.
New England Motor Freight.
Nope,
Yeah.
they're gone.
And they were actually a pretty good carrier.
Very good. Both of those carriers were very good
Yeah.
carriers. And they had their niche. They had
Yeah.
their regional niche, and they both did well. And now they're not. Now they don't exist at all.
No. And we've seen YRC weather some storms. We've seen
So I saw something interesting yesterday, and maybe we'll have to get somebody from Yellow to comment someday. I'm driving to Indy yesterday, or actually, I'm Ubering to Indy yesterday, and we drive by a yellow tractor trailer, and it's got the yellow. It says yellow on the cab, and it says yellow on the trailers, but underneath yellow on the driver's side door, it said powered by YRC Freight. I'm like, how come it just doesn't say powered by Yellow? I'm like, because
Yeah.
it's yellow. It's still, I just didn't understand the powered by YRC Freight. I'm like,
it might be
because there's no YRC Pros anymore.
Right.
It's Yellow Pros.
I think it might be just a holding company that buys their equipment and they call it that.
Yeah.
It might be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed weird. I'm like, I don't understand, but what do I know? What do I know?
Well, maybe it should say powered by the federal government.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh. Tony with daggers thrown on a Saturday morning. Throwing daggers. So I will say, change the subject just a little bit. This is kind of show I guess we're going to have today. For those of you listening and that may end up going to the Mid-America Truck Show, I will be there on Friday and Saturday. So Tony has a really neat gadget. And again, Tony's our tech nerd guy or whatever. He has a new iPad, and this iPad is it looks really nice, and I might end up taking one with me so I can record
David B.
some interactions with. I plan on bumping into Jacinda Duran, friend
doing
of
some
the
interviews
show,
and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, or at least little quick things that you could put on Instagram or YouTube or whatever.
Oh,
whatever the technology is, whatever the technology is nowadays.
However you get it out there in that tech world.
Yeah.
So
I may have to purchase one of these little iPad things that Tony has, because that is sharp.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna blow your mind. And you're used to Apple, so your learning curve won't
but
take as long.
I still have a Commodore 64 as far as a laptop is concerned. So that looks
Commodore 64
awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. You can get a bigger screen one too.
Really?
Yeah, this is.
But that seems like that. What size is that? And that
10.
seems
9,
adequate.
10.9. But you can get it like up to 12.9.
10 soft.
Yeah. Hello. But you can get up to 12.9.
Okay.
12.9.
But that looks pretty sizable in its current format. So at the Mid-America Truck Show, if anybody goes, look me up or let me know that you're going, and I'll bump into you or whatever. I'm excited to go. We're going to try to expand our pool.
Yeah, when is it again?
People, drivers is March the 30th through April the 1st in Louisville, Kentucky. It's always It's always in Louisville. The
Yeah, it's all the
Mid-America Truck
truckers
Show.
get there. All the ones, a lot of them that have been on the show get there. Yeah.
I think
It's a good time.
I think Larry Cawthron will be there.
Larry.
Yeah, I'm
Big
excited.
Larry.
I'm excited to bump into some of these people.
Yeah.
I've
Jacinda's awesome.
already reached out to Jacinda,
Yeah.
and she says we'll definitely meet up. So, yeah, the Mid-America Truck Show. I'm excited.
I can see
originally
that.
I wasn't super excited about going, but now I'm excited. So
You're gonna have to take the stick, man.
is that be a GoPro, or could you use a stick with that? Is there a place for a stick with that one? That iPad, or
I don't think it'll expand out to the iPad, but well, yeah, you could still hold it like that though, because it's got the back. Yeah, you could still do it like that. That'd be fine.
or have somebody hold it for me. If I get somebody, I don't think
you could get in trouble for that though.
Oh,
back
there
home,
is.
I mean, be careful, David.
Right. Yes. I need to learn to clean up my. I get that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Tracy's not listening this morning.
I don't think she ever listened.
No,
so
she's too smart to listen to this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our wives are probably getting together doing their own show.
Yeah. It's saying, you know how stupid those guys
Yeah,
sound.
this show's so stupid. They're
Yeah.
just it's
All they do
bashing
is
this
talk
show.
about logistics.
Yeah, trucking. It's so boring. I want to talk
Yeah.
about shipping.
Yeah. On the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. What kind of stupid name is that?
Yeah.
Jeez.
They came up with they're stupid. They came up with a stupid name.
And they smell bad.
Yeah, they don't
whatever.
shower before the show because it's so early
Mm-hmm.
on a Saturday morning.
You know.
But you know, hey,
I'm gonna research the show a little bit. So when I registered for the show, and I was still going to the Mid-America Truck Show to clarify, and as I'm registering, I'm like, I'll just see how this goes. I'm not super excited to go, even though I want to go because I don't want to go by myself. And the more I thought about it, and the more I delved into the layout of the Mid-America Truck Show and who all the vendors and stuff that are going to be there, then I got a little bit more excited, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to make the best of this. Or hopefully maybe like next year we can actually have a booth or something.
Yeah.
Or like maybe not a booth, but a press pass or something. So just thinking.
No, man, it's a good idea. For Tim and I, who still got little chitlins at home, well, not so little for me, but we got the spring break thing that always seems to interfere with that.
Sure.
So
yeah. And
more so
in
Tim.
reality, you know, since it's, and I'm not saying that truck drivers don't do spring break, but it's probably a good time for them to do that since everybody's out doing something else. And Louisville's a good town too.
Yeah.
I've been.
Oh
there a
yeah,
few
Louisville's awesome, beautiful town down by the river.
Down by the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that should be fun or whatever. And then maybe if we could do the Iowa 80 some year too.
Oh yeah, that's a big one at the rest area. That'd be huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's in. When is that? Do you remember?
It's either
in the
June
summer
or July.
Yeah, it's like in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big one too, because that's would that be bigger than that'd probably be bigger than the
I would think, yeah.
Louisville Truck Show.
Mm-hmm. I would think.
Man, yeah, you're gonna represent.
Yeah,
David
I'm excited.
It should be fun, man.
I'm excited. We're still fledgling enough where we really don't have business cards or a way to. Well, we have T-shirts, but we don't really have a way to promote our show or to hand. We have stickers too, I guess. So I don't know. I'll bring some stickers with me and kind of shake
some shirts,
shake hands. Yeah. Go around and
the would help.
I might see if Tracy wants to go, but I already know the answer, so I'm not even going to bother asking.
You're gonna do a podcast down there? I'm not going.
How stupid you're going to sound.
Nobody
wants to be around a bunch of truck drivers.
Oh man!
But yeah, I'm excited for this or whatever. It's just something to help grow. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
you know,
man, spreading the word around. It's word of mouth is the best way, right? To do it. The what else was going on in the industry, right? Really not.
I did read a story where fuel prices had came down like 4 cents a gallon.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Looks like it has.
Yeah. but it's still way too high.
And I think spot rates have come down a little bit, David.
Mm-hmm.
And then
to a surprising to somewhat of a surprising level, where it's again, or maybe I shouldn't use the word surprising, again, pre-pandemic numbers is why I would look at them.
Yeah.
And those are nice rates to see. So
the market's shifting, right? The power's been with the carriers, right? The market's shifting a little bit where the power's coming back to the buyer.
I wish that, going back to talking about whether there's going to be a recession or not, I wish they wouldn't comment on the story until they factually know what's going on.
Yeah.
Don't come out with hearsay. Be like, oh, I think we might be headed towards a recession.
It creates panic.
Based on what?
It creates panic.
Based on what? When you hear of these unfortunate layoffs that are happening, and anytime somebody gets laid off, it is very unfortunate. You'll read at the bottom of the story to where these are pre-pandemic employment numbers. Don't go, saying that, oh, the sky is falling, when you're really just kind of reporting on companies getting down to pre-pandemic levels of employment.
Right. Exactly. So,
and there's still, everybody's hiring.
I know. I guess I know. Look at what I just sent you.
Okay.
On the phone there. This thing's interesting.
I got this phone and it's in my pocket.
It's so what this is the U.S. debt clock.
Okay.
And you can go to usdebtclock.org and look at this thing. It's going to blow your mind when you look at this thing. Not only do you see the national debt number, just $31 trillion, right? But when I look at this, there's a tiny little box over here that says manufacturing jobs now. And then underneath it says manufacturing jobs in 2000.
Okay.
We have lost a ton of manufacturing jobs. A ton. Like most of these numbers are growing, but that one's not.
Yeah, I see that.
And then you look at the amount of people retired. But here's another shocking one. Look at how many people aren't in the labor force.
Right.
100 million people?
Do you know somebody not working? I don't know anybody not working. Personally, I don't know anybody not working.
No, I don't. I know people that are retired and stuff. But
okay, yeah. Let me clarify.
But unemployed.
Yeah, let me clarify. Of working age, do you know anybody not working? I don't know of anybody in my small little bubble.
Yeah, I don't either.
My little bubble of people isn't that many people.
But that means it's just shocking.
But you would think, though, with that number, 100 million, you would think that you would know somebody that's not working. And I don't know anybody that's not.
I may know people that are working where they're not happy.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know really anybody that's not been able to find something like you're saying.
Right. And don't take it that I'm trying to refute your numbers. I'm just trying
it's a good point.
Trying to understand who these people are and where are they and what's going on.
That's what's amazing, because it says that's what I was looking at. It says 57 million people are retired.
If I hear somebody in the news call Social Security entitlement again, I'm going to throat punch them.
Call it what?
Entitlement.
Oh,
because it's not entitlement.
Yeah, right.
Something that you pay into is not an entitlement.
Right.
You've paid into that. You
yours.
Deserve that money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I know.
annoys the snot out of me.
And you just hope it I mean, just
I got something in the mail the other day that says that I should wait until I'm 72. I don't think I can wait until I'm 72. I actually want to enjoy. It may not seem like I do, but I do actually want to get out and enjoy some part of my life. And
I think
have to wait until I'm 72.
I think the economy, maybe it would be wrong. It just seems like, yeah, you're right. Because I mean, let's face it, not to be morbid or anything. What do you got? 15 years left at the max. At the max after.
I would hope on the low end 15. on the high end,
Like
probably
85, I'm saying. Like say you're 70 and or you're
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You mean not me personally, but
no.
when you're the
yeah,
age of 70.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
People in general. I mean, what do you
Right.
got left?
Tony's trying to knock me off.
Dave, you're not going to
In
make
my
it. Dave.
early 60s.
Well, I'm just saying in your like 67, I mean, what is typically you have anybody? 15 years maybe?
Maybe. Yeah.
So you're in your mid 80s.
Mhm.
I mean, what the hell's that? I mean,
I wonder what the median or the average age, and not, again, I don't want to be morbid either, but what is the average age of someone in the United States that passes?
well, yeah, that
Just
life
thinking out loud.
expectancy
Yeah.
for men, it used to be
You have to.
79 to 81, and then women were kind of like 83 to 85.
Oh.
Or is it? Let me. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No,
That's
I
a
don't
good,
think you're wrong.
might
I
be
don't
wrong.
know. I don't know
I think
at all. That's
COVID
why I'm
changed those
asking.
numbers. Let's see, average
Did it?
death rate
But again,
in America.
I mean,
77 point.
yeah, that sounds like a better number. I mean, because it's an average. It's not, You're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast,
Thanks, Dave.
not the Morbid Hour.
Yeah.
But you're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast.
We're sponsored by Mortuaries.
Before we do the show every week, we talk about
Mortality rate
like we
by
do a pre-show
country.
thing where we essentially record
By
and don't
USA.
record. I mean,
Here's-
our own little podcast.
Here it is.
We talked about dead space and just letting it go, but it sounds a little weird when we have dead space.
So here's what we got
Here we go.
is average life expectancy in the U.S. in 2020 was 77 years. It decreased 1.8 years from 2019. Women live longer. So Tracy's going to take your stuff, David. Kick you to the curb.
She already has more stuff than I do, anyway. So she could take what little bit I have. So you know what I have? I have the very, very nice radio you got me for Christmas.
Yeah,
And that's about it. So she's
Wow.
going to have that.
we'll be kicked to the curb.
Well, yeah.
So
So what was the age again?
did I say 77?
I think that's what you said.
70.
So again, they want you to wait.
77.
They want you to wait until you're 72. Here's 5
That's
years.
bullshit.
Yeah, we're going to give you $4,000.
It should be
a month.
55, 60, maybe.
Yeah, because Europeans, they don't work until.
What do they do? Do you
I
know?
don't know. I was hoping you knew.
You know what? No, let's look it up.
That's
That's a
fine.
good thing.
Tony's my info
European
portal.
employees
I think they're just like us.
retire when?
You're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. We are talking about retirement.
Oh my God! Listen to this.
Okay.
In order for an employee to retire under the age of 70, the employer must first obtain their written consent. Retirement cannot take place before the age at which the employee automatically receives his full pension. This age was set at 65, 2016, and now 67 in 2023. So they can leave at 67.
Yeah, but the reason that is they can't fund them either.
It says 65. 60, wait. Excluding Turkey, the maximum current retirement age across Europe is 62 for men, 60 for women.
The maximum retirement age or the minimum retirement age?
The minimum current retirement
Okay,
age, 62.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's
What is it here? Same?
let's look it up to be specific. I think it's currently the
My
same.
dad retired at 52.
Well, it depends on
I know.
what company. It says here, rural strong Social Security benefits established age 65 is the common retirement. Men can retire at 64.6 years. Women can retire at 62. Retirees at the age of 65 qualify for medical benefits, Medicare.
Shouldn't.
The average age is 61,
Oh,
but most people can't collect their full Social Security until they're 67. See, that's what's crazy. I mean, it's your money, right?
mhm.
It's
It's a government for you.
I don't
dude.
like it.
No, I don't
I
either.
don't like it. But
So would you rather them than, just thinking out loud, would you rather them cut you a check right then for the full amount that you've paid in, or would you just be fine with getting your monthly installments of whatever? I don't know.
I would
I'm
have.
just
No, it's a good
thinking out
question.
loud.
I would have liked an option at like 18 to say, hey, when you went to the workforce, right, or when you graduate college or military or whatever. For me, I would have liked him to say, do you want this in an aggressive fund or, kind of like your 401k? And then maybe I can cash it out. You have enough to cash it out when when you get there instead of receiving it monthly. That would have been nice.
Well, and those are bullshit things too, because you can't get into your 401k until you're a certain age.
I know.
You just keep paying into and paying into.
It's like we're all trapped.
And
then I think they keep wanting to raise the retirement age, right? Like the Clintons and Bushes raised it. It was 65. They raised it to 60. I mean, I think Hillary Clinton wanted it to be 72. Yeah, it's like go away.
Yeah, that's one of the that's the number they give. They want you to wait until you're 72.
No.
Screw that.
Yeah, no.
I've worked too hard and too long.
Yeah. Give me my money. You've been holding on forever and taxing me to death, right? I mean, if I don't want to get into that, but if I didn't pay as many taxes, maybe we all could retire quicker. Anyway, but so David B.
Tony Wade. So,
big weekend, brother.
Yes.
Oh man, it's a power football weekend.
It is. It's a sports weekend. Was there any? So I'm out of the loop on most things in life. Was there games yesterday or the games start today?
I believe they start today at 4:30. You have the Seattle Seahawks.
Yep.
Playing at 4:30 against the 49ers. And then you have at 8:15 the Chargers, the San Diego Chargers
at
Jacksonville.
The Jaguars, are actually in the playoffs.
They made it. Yeah. Tomorrow.
See, I mean, look how big of a difference getting rid of what's his name? What was the guy's name? The Ohio State coach that went to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Well, look what a difference.
He likes to kick field goal kickers in the head during practice.
Yeah.
Numbnuts. What's his name?
We'll go with that.
Douchebag.
That's right, too.
He's a loser.
Yeah.
Can't stand him. Kicked a kicker in the head during practice. What a disrespectful thing to do.
Yeah. So anyway, they got rid of him, and now they're in the playoffs, the 4th seed.
Imagine that, right?
4th seed in the playoffs.
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Yep, you're right. And then tomorrow, in the playoffs, tomorrow being Sunday, they will have the Dolphins at the Bills.
You got 4 games.
I wonder what the weather is going to be like in Buffalo. Oh, yeah. And then you got the New York Giants at the Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati
which
Bengals.
Should be a very good game, right? And then you got Cowboys at the Buccaneers, which which may be Tom Brady's last game as a Buccaneer. But the Bengals and Ravens, they've played. This will be their 3rd time this year playing, right?
Yeah.
And they've split, so this is going to be a big game.
Yeah,
it's a great football weekend.
Yeah, it is. My favorite sport, college football, is over, so that's okay. We got the pros
and Georgia just pounded it, didn't they?
Yeah, TCU, they whooped their ass big time. That was it.
This might have been a year, I think. I'm probably get a lot of disagreements, but this might have been the year they just went, Georgia, you're the best. We don't even need to have a damn playoff. I mean, although Ohio State played them pretty tough, though, but I mean, that Georgia team looks.
Well, it makes you
really
wonder.
good.
It makes you wonder where was Michigan at during the TCU game? How did you not whoop TCU's ass?
It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah. Just.
You think he's going to go to the pros? You take Harbaugh here in Indianapolis?
I don't know, man.
Jimmy Harbaugh.
I'm not a big pro football guy. I mean, I follow it and I like it. I just don't follow it enough. A lot of I'm more of a college sports guy. I'm not a big professional sports guy. If I can't afford to go, I'm not interested. Not that I can't afford to go. Maybe that I don't want to afford to go or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd much rather go watch a minor league baseball game or a minor league hockey game or something.
See the future talent.
Yeah.
Or
the has-beens.
They're trying to rehab. I think the Colts, if to get Jim Harbaugh would be I think that would be a good deal, man. I don't know if he's going to do it though.
I don't think I've heard his name mentioned as far as somebody that they are looking to interview, but I could be wrong.
I don't think so, but I think he's talked to some other owners maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if they were talking to him and it became a kind of a side note, then a big note, and then boom. I don't know.
Hindsight being 2020, how stupid were you and I not to get involved in the coaching at any level, the coaching level of coaching something, because they make even like a Marion University coach or something, they're making some good money.
I know. I used to think about it though when I coached Jake in baseball.
You would want to be a baseball manager? Is that what you would want to
do?
Well,
yeah. Basketball's hard to me. It was the hardest thing to coach was basketball, especially for youth. I mean, it's emotion. They don't get all that. It's frustrating. But yeah, I did baseball. I loved actually coaching it. But yeah, you just fantasize about, man, because I was asked to be the middle school coach and I didn't do it. But
so would you, like when you were so you had game plan, you had practice plan stuff.
Oh yeah.
What else would you probably not at that age. You didn't scout, did you? Was there a scout?
There was travel involved, yeah.
Okay.
We did a little bit of scouting. Mainly it was at the younger age, just looking at the kids that were willing to do the things needed to become better, right? Mm-hmm. And just coaching them through the basic mechanics.
We ought to go. We ought to go to do a Butler baseball game.
It'd be fun.
Or a Marion
college
baseball's
game. Fun.
Yeah. Just thinking out loud. We should.
Yeah, so you got
pitchers and catchers show up next month.
What's that?
Pitchers and catchers.
Isn't that crazy for Winter League?
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, because Spring League's they're probably they're doing it now.
Maybe.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in March I think they're pretty much wrapping up the
spring training.
Spring training, yeah, it's going to be an interesting baseball season as well, but looks like a great football weekend for everybody to enjoy. That it starts today at 4:30.
Yeah,
Seahawks versus the 49ers.
Yeah. Pacers got beat last night and they play again today.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. Got beat at home by the Hawks.
I haven't been watching pro basketball.
Yeah, I don't.
So bad.
I only saw the score is how I knew. So.
I thought they were started off pretty good though.
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry.
Yeah, so you're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast with Tony B and David B in the house. Timmy D out today.
Tim is in Vegas.
He's in Vegas, baby. Winning millions. You think he'll win the big jackpot out there?
I hope he does. I hope he does. I hope he doesn't forget us either when he does or if he does.
Well, I hope he wins and becomes a podcast sponsor. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Right.
But yeah, so David B, what do you got plans this weekend?
After I leave, I think it's nap time when I leave here. I had to work
because you had to go in, yeah,
which is a normal Saturday anyway. Nothing. I do like to cook for the family. It's just me and my wife and our middle daughter at home, but I do like to make a nice meals on the weekend to sit down and enjoy. And I can't think of. What's
you doing one this weekend?
I don't know. Maybe just making some nice family meals. So
yeah,
need a nap.
Need a nap. So what? Do you got any? Random thoughts?
I think we've just been kind of randomly.
It's been a random thought podcast.
I do like your. I could see you being a baseball manager. I mean, that would be. But Tony has in studio here, Tony has a fedora that he just kind of bought, which is a really nice looking hat, and he looks like a coach when he puts that hat on. He's got a Tom Landry look about him, where he would. I could see that being a signature thing for Tony B.
I should start wearing it.
You would. You wear it well. I will say, not too many people can pull off that look, and that was. That's a good look on producer Tony. It
Thank
gives
you,
him
brother.
get him a little briefcase and get him a like a trench coat or something, and he'll knock that out. Look out of the park.
Look like Secret Agent Man.
There we go.
Secret
I thought about that.
Agent Man.
Yeah.
Remember that show?
Yeah, I do.
It's a little older than you and I do, though.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, and we're older.
yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Tony pulls off the fedora well. Does well with that. What about you, producer Tony? You got big weekend plans?
Oh, yeah.
Who is the band? Is
Johnny Rivers. I would have never guessed that.
Nope.
You got to get Matt on that one. Who sings this, Matt?
I bet we couldn't.
Johnny Rivers.
Oh yeah,
He's just going to get it right
that
away.
fast.
Anyways.
Yeah.
No plans. Well, we just have some straggling Christmas stuff to put away.
Okay.
So we got to do that. And I got to get up in the attic and put all this stuff out. And I don't like getting up in the attic, so I'm going to have to grab Jacob and have him. He's a little bit younger.
Spry.
Can move a little bit better.
Yep.
My back always hurts when I get up there after I get done because I got to bend down and stuff. So, but gonna get him up there and get getting that stuff off the garage floor, you know.
Yeah. And weekends, I like to when if I can, I try to get all the stuff that you should do on the weekend done Monday. Excuse me, Monday through Thursday, so I can just laze ass around on Saturday and Sunday.
That's the best way to do it.
Doesn't always work that way.
No.
That's the preferred method in my world.
May get some snow,
It's supposed to
then heat back up a little bit.
rain and on 51 and rain on Tuesday
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah. Which is far better than a bunch of snow, or at least in my opinion, depending on where you're at, where you're from, or whatever. I mean, we've been fortunate this winter we had that cold snap there briefly and a little bit of snow, but all in all, so far this winter has been fairly
It's not been bad.
mild.
It's been unbelievably mild.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, I was gonna try to hit you up on this.
Been good shorts weather.
Yeah, you
It's
got.
always shorts weather.
I know. I wore mine last night. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just looking at see if I could stomp you on a song real quick.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
But I typed in hardest songs to figure out.
I wish we had video recordings of when we're out, not like when Tony and I go to lunch every now and again, and one of the things that we'll do is try to stump one another with songs. And Tony, the excitement on Tony's face when he gets one right is just you're rooting for him, even though you want him to not get it. When he gets it, you're like, yeah. And Tony's all excited when he gets one.
Yeah, for a guy who worked at a radio station who was popping in song after song and song after song, I was never like a big artist, like connecting which is, oh well.
And friend of the show and reoccurring guest, Matty G.
He's unbelievable at it.
Oh my God. He is the best by far. And he gets them quick without even, he'd be like, yeah, that's,
It's unbelievably quick.
Cream by Prince or
Yeah.
whatever.
And he goes deep into knows like 60s and 70s stuff. So
Yeah. In his man cave, he's got a
that's what you said. It's
nice record.
pretty nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Albums.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, brother,
It's been a good show, my friend. I
you
appreciate
too.
it.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Second show of the year.
Yeah. And thanks for listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us how we're doing. Leave a nice comment or two. It'd be greatly appreciated. We are always looking for constructive critiques. And,
Absolutely.
They're much appreciated. And I appreciate producer Tony running things today. It's been a good show.
You too, David. Have a good weekend, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Ship's Gonna Happen is out.